For all the people saying, get a roommate to be able to afford rent, you're the problem. I swear if people tell you to get a roommate to afford rent, you have a problem. A single person should be able to afford a one-bedroom all on their own. Now you got couples trying to squeeze into studio apartments or a one-bedroom if you're lucky. It's not like we are even asking for luxury apartments. Is it really spoiled that single people want to be able to afford rent without needing help? Edit. Wow, I didn't expect this post to blow up, but thanks. Just to clarify things a bit, what I mean by people who say to get a roommate as part of the problem, I meant as people are accepting roommates as the new solution to affordable renting. The problem being we need to preach against apartments with high rent. People who want studio or one-bedroom apartments should be able to afford that without working themselves to death working 50-60 hours a week. I've read too many horror stories of insane roommates to go out and live with some rondo. Before you say room with a friend, joke's on you, I don't have any friends. Having a roommate is great, you get to spend all day at work with people you don't like, then you come home and do it all over again. Agreed. Skip taking vacation. Start a side hustle. Buy cheaper foods. Get a second job. Get a roommate. All these things are short-term solutions that ultimately become the norm until everyone is working 60 hours a week with no time off and going home to their rented 600 sqft apartment they share with a stranger and eating cricket dust portion shakes and rice. Had this happened pretty recently. Was offered a promotion at work that would involve me relocating. They rejected my offer when they asked how much they'd have to pay me to do it. I told them, I can't live off of anything less than X amount. My boss's boss had the nerve to ask, well, do you have any friends in the area you could room with? No, I don't. I'd prefer to live by myself. Well, I guess we'll just have to revisit this conversation at a later date. Or maybe just pay me what I asked? My favorite one is, get married. Like, okay asshole, thanks. Why didn't I think of finding a loving partner instead of facing life alone? A single person should be able to afford a studio. No exceptions. No spouse. No roommate. Repealing Glass-Steagall in 1999 destroyed our housing market and rental markets. Before that, the market was pretty stable. Don't listen to the gaslighting op, you have every right to be angry. https dqydj.com/historicalhomeprices/ https en.m.wikipedia.org/wiki/gram% e2% 80% 93 leach percent e2% 80% 93 Bliliac. A single person working full-time should be able to buy a studio at the bare minimum. There are legitimate reasons to rent. But if the option of home ownership isn't available, it means that person isn't truly independent or free. I tried having a roommate in my house twice. I lasted all of 5 months before I was like, I need you to leave now because I am going to go insane. I just can't handle other people living in my space. I thrive off of being alone, and if I couldn't afford to live on my own, I would claw my eyes out. I'd say wages and housing prices are the real problem. But you're 100% correct, a person should be able to afford a place to live by themselves. The same people who think everyone should just live with bunches of roommates will also complain about how there's never any parking and that the streets are in rough shape and how the apartment buildings are so run down. Well, yeah, you stuff 5 times as many people into a living situation as it was built for. The infrastructure is going to fall apart that much faster. Same as the ones who tell people already working 40 hours a week to get a second job to afford a house. You're the problem, not the solution. Because we poors don't deserve privacy. These people really grind my gears. Anytime I mention that money is really tight, I'm asked about my living situation. Yes, I have 2 other roommates, a bed bug infestation, and downstairs neighbors that chain smoke, making our apartment an ashtray. We all pay $550 for rent, not including utilities. And this is in Tennessee, where the cost of living is one of the lowest in the country. The sad part is that if we were all going to move out of our terrible place, we'd be looking at paying about $700 a month per person because market value. The problem with getting a roommate in some cities now, like mine, is that each tenant needs to make 3x the monthly rent, as opposed to older days where they considered the monthly combined income of the tenants. Apartment complexes are afraid a tenant may bail and leave the other tenant on the hook for rent. So yes, getting roommates can help tremendously with paying rent, as much as it may suck. But good luck qualifying. I hate having roommates because 2 of mine are absolutely unhinged and annoying to have around. One is a shameless homewrecker and the other, her uncle, is a sex pest that hits on me while he has a girlfriend. Utter garbage. When I asked my boss for a raise and showed him all the numbers to demonstrate how rough the budget actually is, and what my position actually was supposed to get paid, his response was that he had multiple roommates for years until he could get his own place. He knew I was living in the city in a 1-bedroom shoebox apartment. He could see most of the apartment from our video calls. He lived 2 hours out of town and had a 3-bedroom house. He was such a snake in the grass. Totally agree. After college, living with roommates just doesn't feel the same. Grown adults with careers and full-time jobs should not have to struggle just to keep a roof over our heads. Honestly, landlord simps are the saddest people on this whole site. Exactly. It's 1 bedroom, intended for 1 person or a couple. WTF should you need more incomes to afford what is meant to be a single-person living situation? Been mad about this too. As an adult that works full-time at a physical labor job, I should be able to afford a small 1-bedroom, or at least a studio.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.